Well, if we're going to be live, I better be in the chair. Hi, that caught me by surprise. How you doing? It's Friday night. It's been another week. The Lord is willing and the bridge wasn't up, because at the end of this show, I will say, if the Lord is willing and the bridge isn't up. So let's see. We got the Lumix S5 Mark II. We got the Canon R6 Mark II. We got the Nikon Z6 Mark II. And I did not plug in the overhead camera. If I need it, I'll get up and plug it in. Meanwhile, hey there, it's Friday. We do an hour show every Friday. And tonight you guys are going to pick, hey, cut it out. Tonight you guys are going to pick, what is the topic? What shall we be talking about? We'll start with the hellos. Hello, hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. All right, so let's come here. I want to see if there's anything that I should be aware of. No, everything looks fine. We're public. We got a couple of people in here, and it'll grow as time goes on. So how you doing? Who did I speak to this week? I spoke with Hal, yes. I think I intended to speak with Jim, but I failed to call. I did talk to Randy. I called Carlos, but he never answered the phone. So let's go over here in case I want to show you something. We'll go to the B&H website, but I don't really think, well, you might lead me there. You might lead me to something tonight, because I did say that you guys are going to pick out what we're going to talk about. So I find that coming in and running in here on this desk, I keep the FX2 handy, and I intended to do, and I still do, a video showing the new recipe I have for my homemade low sugar or keto low carb ice cream. Now I said low sugar, keto, and low carb in one sentence, and somebody decided they were the police and they were going to correct my little ass. Well, it just doesn't want to be corrected. What can I tell you? I'm that kind of guy. When I say low sugar, that means I'm having low sugar. And that sugar content comes from me counting the carbs. Carbs is what turns into sugars. So it's kind of, you can either give a person a wide path, or you can have a stick up your aorta. I was going to use another word. And try to correct everybody when they make a mistake. That kind of guy, not friendly. That kind of guy, I don't look to hang out with them. But people do that. If you say something that's just a little bit off, they have to rush in where angels fear to tread, as the song goes, and correct you. So I have the FX2 right here, and I started to prepare to make a video, and I came in here and grabbed it. Now the three lenses that I used with this camera the most are the three lenses that I would recommend to someone to have. And they all happen to be Sony. Yeah, okay, so this one that's on here now is the Sony. It's got a G here, so it's a Sony G lens. I want to talk to the correct, look at the correct camera. So this is a Sony G lens, and it's a 20 millimeter rather than 24 to 70. Now, normally, you look for these lenses, and they are 24 to 70, right? You guys that are into cameras, just even a little bit, you know that the triplets for zooms is a 15 to 35. And then after that, it would be a 24 to 70. And after that would be a 70 to 200. Those are the three staples, the three main lenses for people that have zoom lenses. Now, the camera companies in their marketing ploy or scheme, I should say, make those lenses in a professional level, and that would be the ones that are f2.8. Canons would be what they call L lenses. And each camera company has their designated professional level. But usually the 2.8 lenses, not all, never say never, okay? But usually the 2.8 lenses are at the higher end of the price range. So what they did is they made it so, like, most people don't need 2.8. The people that are like me, that if it's not 1.4, I don't like it, okay? So 2.8 on the triplets for the zooms, which is the 3 zooms that a high-end enthusiast would have, a professional level photographer would have, a professional level videographer would have. They would have 3 basic standard. Everybody's got these lenses. And that would be on the zoom side. It would be a 15 to 35, which is a wide, but it gives you a certain amount of zoom. So that would be, what, if you put that on a crop sensor, it would be 24 area to 50 millimeter area, okay? And the easy way to do it is just take the number, and if you want to move over into a crop sensor version of that lens, just take it up to the next step on that ladder. It's not going to hit it perfectly. It's not like exact, but it's right within a millimeter or two, one side or the other of what it'll be. So a 15 to 35, let's do that together. What's the next set up of a standard rise from a 15? Yeah, you've got a lot of little steps. You've got 18, 20, 22, but 24 is your next major step up when you go from a 15 millimeter. Yeah, there are others in between, but the next major one would be 24. So a 15 millimeter, if you round it up and do quick and dirty math, your 15 millimeter on a crop sensor camera is going to act like a 24 millimeter field of view on a full sensor camera. So let's go to the other end of the 15 to 35 millimeter zoom. What's the next step up from 35 millimeters? Okay, so the next step up on a 35 millimeter, believe it or not, is a 50. So a 1.5 of a 50 would be a 35 plus 7.5. Okay, it would be like 42, 43. And if you're in Canon, it'd be like 44. But the easy, dirty method is just take it from 35 to 50 millimeters. So a 15 to 35 millimeter on a regular full frame camera, which is the FX2 is, okay, would be 15 to 30 millimeters. But if you put this camera and you go into the menu and you switch it over to a crop sensor lens or crop sensor field of view, like let's say somebody that's got the Canon Mark VI Mark II, the M6 Mark II, that's a crop sensor. You don't have the option of going full frame. So you would just say the 15 to 35 would act very much similar to a 15 by 50. In our case, it'd be like 43 millimeters, not 50. But you actually get the drift. Okay, so 15 to 35 is one of your triplets, okay? So if you put a crop sensor lens on, let's say, in the Sony field, and you went with this style of, yeah, I see you, Roy. What's your problem there, buddy? You got finger problems? You're just doing fine. You got it in your head that we can't see you. You're handsome. You're good looking. We can see you. However, we got 2 things in operation. So before you start shooting people down, okay, you got to understand YouTube has certain words that they don't like, and they'll push the chat aside. But they also give me the opportunity to put words in there that I don't like, and that will also trigger without my knowledge, without my knowledge, without my knowledge, without my knowledge, that a comment won't be seen. So if something is not seen, one of those trigger words was triggered. Okay. So I had the word loony. I can't see a reason for someone to say the word loony in a camera environment or a chit-chat environment without at least a 50% or more probability that it's a problem comment. So I added the word loony into my personal list of words, and somebody's name was Looney Tunes Lover. Now, Looney Tunes is cartoons. What's up, Doc? Okay, so whenever they would comment, I would never get to see the comment, and the person took it very personally, probably because their comments weren't showing up, and they were having a "why don't you like me" attack. Why don't you like me? Well, the word loony was in my list. It might still be there, but I think I might have taken it out, okay? Because I did have a problem with somebody attacking someone else using the word loony. So in my off-the-cuff type of a thing, I added it to that list. So when I can't see something and someone thinks, oh, you banned me, you dropped my comments, chances are no, because I can't think of anyone I banned off the bat. Well, actually, I can. And it was actually a very derogatory statement, and I wouldn't want that shown to anyone that would be considered under 18 years old. So I threw them out. But we're talking about 10 years ago. So I would say since the last 5-10 years, I've never banned anyone, because those kind of people don't normally come here. They usually are very nice people. They're very friendly. That I can reach out and say, help, I'm having a problem. I'd like to talk to somebody. And most of you guys are somebody that I can pick up the phone and talk to. So the reason I spent all this time is because someone had gotten to me that Roy thought I had done something against him personally. And I happen to like Roy. I have prayed for Roy on a daily basis. He has gone through medical problems and still fights medical problems. I consider him a friend. And I should say consider you a friend, because I know you're watching. And no, I would not even think of ban. I might correct someone, and I have done that, okay? But not ban them. Even a person that there's a little schism right now happening is not banned, okay? So I wanted to address that, because not only Roy, but anybody can get highly offended. I felt highly offended when I found out one of my friends that would never not be a friend decided to ban me. You never know what's going to happen. And I know the feeling. That's what I wanted to say, okay? So I wanted to address that there is a list of words. Most of them are there to protect me, like my address, my city, any names of my kids or my nephews or nieces. Those are on a list. If that winds up in a chat, it's not going to show up, and the person's going to get offended. But it's the only way I could figure out to get a feeling of security, okay? So no, if anyone thinks that I have abandoned them, my email address is actually in all, if not every single one of these, where you can email and say, hey, what's up, Charlie? What's with the banning? And that'll give me the opportunity to respond. But just making the assumption, getting your feelings hurt, and going in the corner and pouting, that's not the way to handle it. Address the situation. So I got banned. It took me a while to realize why. Okay. They don't want me around anymore. Okay, I can accept that. Not fully, but as a start. All right, so that's why I wanted to address it, because where is it? I thought I saw Roy saying, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" Okay. So Roy is saying, anyone seeing my chat? Okay. That means that Roy is getting impatient. That let's take a look here. He made a comment and I haven't gotten to it yet. So he's got it in his mind that there might be a problem and he wants to make sure there isn't. So not only I could see it, I just posted it. So there is no problem, Roy. Love you. I love everyone here. Okay. Now, when I start going through the comments, your comments will start to come up. Okay. And I will post them, but I haven't started on the comments yet. I'm still blabbing about something. I don't remember what started this. So let's get back to the show. What was I talking about? Oh, I was saying that I would run in to get the FX2 and the 3 major lenses for zooms that most photographers will grab quickly is what I call the triplets. 15 to 35, a zoom lens, 20 to 24 millimeter, a zoom lens, and a 70 to 200, a zoom lens. Those are like the basic part of the salad. That's the lettuce. They call that the staple, if you haven't heard that term. And they normally have been 2.8 f-stop lenses, but they make, all of them now make an f4 version to lower the price and make it so people that are just not wanting to have $10,000 worth of equipment laying around can get into those lenses. Now, there is what they call a prime lens. A prime lens is a lens that doesn't zoom at all. It just is one focal stop and it stays. Okay? And there is a set of triplets for that also. That one is a little bit not as clear as the zoom triplets. Now, after you buy your zoom triplets, of course, we start to expand. We start to buy lenses that we're interested in. And that's what I do. Okay? So I actually, right here on my desk, I don't have, of the normal lenses that most people would have, I don't have a single one of those. So that's why you're free to buy what you like. And that's why there's so many lenses out on the market. So what are the lenses that I use? So the camera that I have handy is the FX2. And I went and ran and I grabbed it and I did a very quick vlog with this camera in hand. And I'm learning the things that I'm having a hard time finding. And I'm learning the things to where they are, which is what makes the camera a tool in your hand. So we were talking about Roy a second ago. We'll go back to Roy. Roy is embedded in cameras. So he's got cameras that he's not sitting there busy learning. He knows them. And when he picks it up and wants to take a video or he wants to take pictures, he knows exactly, change this, change this, change this, change this, done. Take my pictures. Cha, 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 cha. Okay? Well, I'm kind of like that too. So when I grab this camera and I need a lens, the 3 lenses that I have actually right here sitting on my desk right now are what? And why are they here? So I have not the 24 to 70. This one goes a little bit beyond that. This one goes 20, a little wider, to 70. And it's not an f2.8, which I'm not happy about. But you know what? The low light performance on the FX2, can I say it matches the FX3? Probably not. But in my mind, it's fine. It matches it. I have no problem with low light. I will walk with this camera out of this room through a room with no light bulbs on, no lights other than the light from the doorway of the Christmas room, heading towards the kitchen. So there's light from the doorway of the kitchen. And in the room, there's not a single light bulb on in the room. And the camera does great. Okay. Now, if I want to take this camera and flip the screen around, turn it around and talk to it, this lens is too heavy. This is a monster. And I like light cameras. Remember with Sly, I like the small cameras. They're easy to use. Well, that got embedded into my mind also. Okay. So I would grab this camera, but I won't use this lens. So what I'll do is make sure the camera's off. I will take the lens off. It's in my hands. Put it down. Keep the camera facing down because the sensor has got a little bit of a magnet to it. It likes dust. I don't want dust in there. So I'm going to use gravity to pull the dust down by not facing the camera upward. So my habit is to automatically have the camera with a lens on it facing down. And not for very long either. I want a quick change. I'm a quick change artist. Okay. So now the camera feels all of a sudden really light. I took this big baby, the big boy, off. Okay. The camera got really light. It's a camera that Sly would like. She likes small light cameras. This camera is close to fitting that. It fits it, but it's on the larger end. And the reason that it's on a larger end is this camera is a full frame camera, it's the FX2. And it's got a fan built in, which makes it a little bit thicker. Now, I will quickly grab the lens that I want to use, which is very small. It feels like there's almost no weight to this lens at all. So this lens is a 10 millimeter, very wide, to 20 millimeter. It's a zoom. And it's an f4. So I will take the rear cap off and place it on the other lens to cover the butt. Okay. I didn't put anything on the front yet. And I won't. Not right now. Okay. But I will cover the butt because it's facing up. Gravity can bring dust to land back there. And I will pop this very light, really small lens onto the FX2. And that's what I did the other day. I want to talk. I want a camera that I can grab. I did. I open it. I did. I turned it on. I did. Okay, you could see from the LCD screen right there that it's on. Okay. And what else do I do? Oh, I've learned, make sure it's in movie mode. Because I've done it not in movie mode. And on many cameras, they don't cooperate that well if you're not in movie mode. Not so with the FX2. Surprise! Isn't that a surprise? If you forget the FX2 in the stills picture mode, it will still operate completely like a movie camera, but it will lock out the super duper movie functions that you would want to use for movies. Okay? But it will give you a lot more than you would think. And it's not going to give you, oh, we're not in the movie mode, so you can't take a movie. So if I was in the movie mode and I did this and I pressed the button, it would start recording. And I would get a great picture. And I get, like, if I want the stabilization on or off, if I want dynamic image stabilization, which this camera has, I could do that with it with the button in the still picture mode. Okay, so what I cannot do in the still picture mode is I cannot engage what they call shutter angle. Okay, now if you're not likely to use shutter angle, then it doesn't matter to you. You're still able to shoot video as if nothing happened. And if you forgot to move it, it doesn't matter on this particular model. That's why I like this camera a lot. It's very forgiving in so many ways and very advanced in so many ways. And then even more advanced in a few ways. And this camera is the Goldilocks. It just fits. It just fits what I would consider most people. I could run complete video channels or photography contests. I could do pretty much what I want. So to do that quick video that's on the big channel of me walking around saying, I'm going to make a video and show how I'm going to do ice cream. And I wanted to make a video and use this. I have the itch to use this camera. Okay. So what I did is I put this lens on here. I didn't stop to look at the settings, which I really should have. And I recommend that I train myself to do it. So this is a recommendation. Make a note to Peter, okay? Before you start shooting, look at your settings. But I didn't. But they still worked fine anyway because the camera is very forgiving. So if you're the kind of person that doesn't use your camera very often and you keep getting bit in the butt, you'd have to put a card in here and not record to get caught with your pants down. But as long as you got a card in here, this camera's going to make every effort to help you grab what you want. Okay? All right, so I have a question to myself. What if I'm actually in the movie mode? So I'm going to put it over to the movie mode. And I want to take a picture. So I'm going to take a picture of you. It took it. Okay, so if I make a mistake and I'm in... No, got it backwards. Now I'm in the movie mode. I moved it accidentally to the still mode where it does take pictures. All right, so now I'm in the movie mode. I got excited there for a second. Did you see that? Okay, because the chances are high it won't let me take a picture. And no, it says, you may not take a picture now. You are in the movie mode. So that's the normal slap on the hand that you get. I would have liked, if I pushed the button, that it took a picture. That would have been really cool. Okay, but it will stop, and I would actually have to move over to the still mode, take the picture, which it did. However, if I'm in the still picture mode and watch the front of the camera, where are you going to watch? Watch up here. Watch where this finger is. Okay? I'm going to push the record button. Did you see the light go on? The light went up on the top. See the little red light? Where am I? The little red light went up on the top, and the light went on in this corner. So now it's recording, and I'm in the picture mode. So it's more forgiving there. So where Canon made a mistake is with the new C50 that they came out, they way overdid it on the movie mode. They went above and beyond your and my experience and went as if we were using a regular full-blown cinema camera, which many of us don't understand the terminology. We don't understand the words. Some of us do. Some of us do. So don't think I'm including everybody. But a lot of us don't. How do I make the picture brighter? Well, in the movie mode on the Canon C50, you don't get an easy way to do it. How do I just, where you have the exposure compensation? They don't make it that easy. They went way movie on everybody, and we're not trained on that. Now over here, they've kept that to a minimum, okay? It's still there. So for instance, we still have, what do we have? White balance, ISO, iris. Iris is your f-stop, okay? So if I push iris here, I can suddenly adjust my f-stop. Now on your camera and all my other cameras, it would actually say aperture or f-stop, okay? So now when I grab this really small lens and I put it on this camera, I can actually very comfortably grab the camera. Voila. I can grab it. Let's do it this way. It gives me a little more room so you can see it. I can grab it here. I can comfortably hold it. The grip is a little bit larger, but the camera is not that heavy. So it still qualifies as a small camera. All right. Now, one of the negatives is the button to push is over here where this finger is. And this finger doesn't quite reach it. I'm a small guy. I need a bigger thing. Don't get nasty. This thing needs to be bigger. Okay? And I can't reach it. But they help me. While I'm holding the camera, let's go over here. I could just take this hand and I could push the record button right here. Listen. Do you hear it go boop? And everything lights up. and then I can go boop up again. Watch this thumb right here. I'm going to push the button in the front. Now I should turn that on so I can show it to you. But the point that I'm trying to make is, all right, there is a button on the front of this camera in the bottom corner, right here, that while I'm looking at it, I could just push it and start the recording and stop it at will. So I've learned, hey, I'm going to make ice cream. How are you doing? Louis, I see you. Scotty, I see you. Roy, I see you. Sammy, I see you. And I can do all that talking. And then when I'm finished, I'll say, and I'll catch you guys later. Now I don't have to go, oh, get this finger bigger. Let me rub it. Maybe it'll get bigger if I rub it. No, all I have to do is come here and tap this button with my other hand. Boom. One and done. Isn't that a miracle? So this camera is well laid out and well thought out. So back to my original topic here, I have this lens, which is small, and light for walking around and vlogging, as they call it. Okay. I have a standard 24 to 70, except the one that I have is not 24 to 70, it's 20. It's a little bit wider, but it doesn't go to 2.8, it goes to f4, which this camera has no problem with. Low light, I haven't run against. I'm going to do a walk around one of these nights, like at 2 a.m. in the morning, and actually see, okay? And then, believe it or not, this is the third lens I got sitting right here. Didn't get up, didn't go anywhere, didn't have to go hunting for it. This is my fun lens, okay? And it actually goes from 70 millimeter to 350 millimeter. This baby, whoa, look at that thing stick out like a sore thumb. But it's a crop sensor lens. And let's see if it's got the letter G on here. It's a Sony. It's a G level lens. So this is a good quality lens. It's not a G Master. A G Master would be the step up above this. But that little word, step up above this, means when you write your checkout to buy this, you have to know how to spell the word 1,000. Now you don't have to, okay? But it is a G lens. It's not a third-party lens. It's a good quality, baby. Good girl, okay? Now this one is 70 to 350. Now what would that translate to as a crop sensor on this camera? It's going to go from 350 millimeters. It's going to go to 550 millimeters. I could shoot the moon with this. This is my fun lens. This is where I could get a crocodile that's over on the other side of the street, or a bird that's up in a tree. And I have this lens right here. I have the 20 to 70 right here. And I have the 10 to 20 very super crazy wide lens right here. So if I just run in here, grab the camera, and I know what I'm going to do with it, which is a very big key of buying a camera, knowing what you're going to do with it. So if there's a bird or a pelican or sitting on the patio, or something jumped into my swimming pool, okay, or there's something going on outside and I can't get too close because of safety, I will grab this camera, take this lens off, put this super power telephoto lens on there and run out there and get pictures and video, and then come back in here and zip them up online so you could see them. So it's 3 lenses that covers my vlogging with this little baby lens. It covers my 20 to 70 full frame lens, okay? And if I switch it over to a crop sensor myself, I've assigned this button right here. If it goes, if I turn it on and I push the button, let me make sure I did it so I'm not lying to myself. Okay. Okay, it zooms it into a crop mode just by pushing this function button. So whatever this function button did before, it doesn't do it anymore. Now, when I push this button, it automatically goes to cropped, uncropped, cropped, uncropped, cropped, uncropped. I can't tell you how handy that is, because I could take this one lens and the 10 millimeter becomes a 15. Push this button, it's right there. And it goes from crop to uncrop, back and forth. Now, it won't do it while I'm actually videoing, which I wish it would, okay? I believe the A7 Mark III Sony allowed it to happen while you were videoing it, but I don't have the camera to check on that. So if I'm not telling you the truth, you won't know it. So those are the 3 lenses that I have and the camera, and it's handy because this desk is fairly close to the door to up and run. You know, there's a missile coming and I got to get out of here and run for cover while the door is closed. Okay. So these are the 3 lenses. I have a camera case there that's designed to put these 3 lenses, but I find it more convenient. Just put them right here on the desk. And then when I start talking to you, I could just start talking to you about what lenses do I use with the FX2. Now, I use these same 3 lenses with the A7c Mark II. Similar camera. Didn't have the features, no heat management, no double card slots, no full-size HDMI. And what else didn't it have? It doesn't have a 180-degree angle. So that's why this camera becomes the Goldilocks lens. It takes all the things. I wish I had that camera handy so I can show it to you. It looks similar to this camera, okay? But this one, they took all the little ticks of things that we don't like and fixed it. I happen to like the fact that if I open this door, I get a full HDMI connection. Means nothing to you, but if you need it, it becomes vital. Okay? And if I open this door, I get a USB-C card slot, and I get something else, a mini something, so I can connect external hard drive. Okay? And it doesn't have the dangling stuff that makes the things dangle and makes noise when you go like this and you're they don't have it here. It's built into the body on this side, and the strap connection is built into the body on that side. So I keep winding up singing the praises of this camera. This is not the only one that's got great stuff, okay? But nothing comes close to what I personally want, except the baby version of this, which is the FX30. And Sammy has that, my buddy, Sammy. Okay, so it would be similar to this camera, but this camera still has some things that the FX30 doesn't have. So Sony pressed the envelope with the FX2. FX3, no. FX3 is not a camera I would consider unless I was doing something specific like making films all the time that needed to get put up on YouTube, on Vimeo, on Paramount Plus, on HBO, and on other outlets where even on the local television stations, and I wanted something a little bit aimed more towards that, then maybe the FX3, but I don't see something I can't do with this. If I had one of Sammy's anamorphic lenses, because a professional filmmaker will use anamorphic lenses, and the anamorphic lenses makes it look a lot more video style and vintage, or doesn't have to be vintage. It can be up to the moment, but it does things with lenses that goes beyond what you and I would normally do. This is capable of dealing with the anamorphic lenses. So that's when I say this is the Goldilocks. Okay, Goldilocks was young. She still had to take a shower. When she reaches puberty, she's going to stink. Okay, but this camera is the most features to fit everyone. And I'm not saying that like, oh, run out and sell your camera and go buy one of these right away. I'm not saying that. I'm saying many of you are like on a constant shopping. What camera do I buy? This one. What camera do I buy, Peter? Please tell me. I just can't figure out. This one. But Peter, I don't know what camera to buy. I've been looking, and I like Canon lenses, and I like Nikon lenses. This one. Buy this one. This camera gives you the most bang for your buck. Okay? Now, I'm not the police. You don't have to buy this one. You buy whatever one you want. I love you. You're right now. We're looking at a Nikon. What a nice camera that you're looking at. You're looking at me through the Nikon Z6 Mark III. Wow, that camera is a super advanced camera. Okay, you could buy that, not a problem. There's not very many bad cameras. So don't be thinking like, oh, don't buy a bad camera. No, you have to show me a bad camera, because there's very few bad cameras out there. Okay. All right. Now, I want to see who's in here and what you're saying. Roy, my buddy Roy, I think I talked about you a little bit. How about that? What a coincidence. The first button I push, that smiling face all the way from Australia with all that knowledge that is just stuck in his brain. And there he is, right here in my show. And what does he say? Topic, mini HDMI on cameras. Yeah, that's one of my hot topics. I hate those things. Why do they put mini HDMIs on there? There's no good reason, and not even for space. So why, Peter? What's wrong with a mini HDMI? Okay, why don't you just talk sense for a second instead of just acting like a baby and crying about mini HDMIs? Because the mini HDMIs break very easy. They're so small. They're fragile. Fragile. Do you know what fragile is? Okay. Let me ask you a question. When you go shopping and you put bread in your cart, or you put a jar of strawberry preserves in your shopping cart, do you do it the same way as when you put in a dozen eggs? Well, your mini HDMI is your dozen eggs. Fragile. Fragile. It breaks. And when it breaks, who pays to have it fixed? Can you tell me who pays to have it fixed? Is it your camera? Is it your HDMI port? Then you pay to get it fixed. So they've set you up to sit on something you don't want to sit on because it's going to hurt something down there. Not a good deal. So the full HDMIs are much more, can I use the word hefty? Well built. They last through plugging it in and unplugging it. Okay. Now, how does this translate to you, honestly? If you never use the HDMI port, then it doesn't mean a whole lot to you. But if you use it, chances are you don't use it once every 3 months. Chances are it gets plugged in and unplugged. Unplugged and plugged in. And that cycle just goes round and round and round. Unless you buy a camera and dedicate it for sitting on a certain spot. Okay? So, I'll prove my point. Here, perfect camera. Here's the Canon R6 Mark III. It's got a mini HDMI. I never remove it. It stays right where it is. The HDMI plug, that little baby one, is plugged in, and I've got it tied down because I don't even want it to shake. Because if I shake it and it cracks, that plug, I have to send the whole camera to Canon to get it fixed. How about a real world experience? Randy, one of our family members here, bought a Sony E10. And I think the very first day, not a week, not 3 days later, the HDMI port broke as he plugged it in to plug it into his system in his house. That's $350, darling. That's what Sony's going to say to him. Well, if you had put the full-size HDMI port there, darling, it wouldn't have broke. So putting in the mini is setting you up for trouble. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and bought one of those basil plants? And it looks so bushy and you want to put it in your spaghetti sauce and you want to clip off the little, and it smells. Oh, it smells so wonderful. But no matter what you do, in a week or two it's dead. That's because it's designed to work that way. How so, Peter? Because if you actually take the plant out of the pot, so you could look at the cluster of dirt, there must be 50 plants crammed together in that little thing of basil. And they just don't have the nutriments or the space to breathe or to drink the water, and they die. And you buy another one. And you'll go around and you'll say something to the effect, I buy these, but they never last. Now, if you actually take the plant and actually pull it out of its pot, like I just said, and see the thousands of millions of roots in there, and break it apart into individual plants and replant them one at a time, it'll flourish into big bushes and you never have to buy another one again. Does that say that on the instructions? No, of course not. Does the grocery store people tell you? I don't think they know. I think they're clueless. The plant looks appealing enough to buy it. They put 10 or 15 there and you go like, oh, $5.98, $7.98, let me buy one of those. HDMI, the Mini, is the same way. They've put it in with the intent that it's going to give them $350 in the very near future if you use it. So that is your topic. And if anybody comes in here and says, but I've been using the same one for 300 years, well, smack you up the side of the head with a Hershey's chocolate bar. So there's a little sweetness there, but basically the smack is what I really intended to deliver. Because they're not made to last. But the full-size ones are. But they don't give you the full-size one. So thank you, Roy, for giving us the first topic, and it's a really good one. So see, Roy, I'm going to tease you now, so don't get pissed off, okay? See, Roy, when you're a good boy, your comments go through. He hasn't done anything wrong, guys, okay? All of you, or some of you, have actually hit one of those words that don't let the comments go through. All right, Scotty's up next. He's driving home from a gig. So he was playing the piano, okay, and singing a song and intent to entertaining people. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Oh, country roads. Scotty was singing to people tonight, making a song, making them smile. Good boy, Scotty, you did more than I did. What a guy. Scotty makes me high. I don't know. I couldn't rhyme that. Okay, so that's Scotty. Topics. Flash modifiers. Ooh, that's a good topic. Okay. You know what's coming back into favor? When you take this little protective tab off the top of your camera, and I've never even taken it off for this one, so it was hard to pull out. And you put yourself a flash on here. Now this flash is not designed for this camera, so I'm not going to actually use it. Now when you go to take a picture, that looks normal, right? That looks like any other photographer. And when he pushes the button, that will flash right in your eyes. But that is what they call harsh flash. When God designed the planet that we're on, the sun is not in front of you so that everybody's face looks like the light is head on. The sun is up in the sky, and it even changes positions. And those of us that like to start to learn to control the lighting actually move to going to using one of these. So now how do you make it so this is not so offensive. When I say this, I'm talking about the bright flash that bursts and comes out when you shoot the picture. Well, they have done over the years a few things to help you. Okay. One of the things is you could face the light up. All I did was turn the head. See the operation? Facing forward. Which camera so I can make it level? All right. Now it's facing forward. Now I push this little release button on the side where my finger is, and I could face it up. Now the light is no longer firing forward at the person if I was taking a picture of you. So what happens in this case when I face the light up? I changed the entire dynamics of the light. Now the light is going to fire off the top, and it's going to go up. And eventually it's going to find something, unless I'm outside, that it's going to stop the light from going. It's going to hit the wall. Or in this case, it's going to hit the ceiling. Okay? And we could have a low ceiling. We could have a high ceiling. And when it hits the ceiling, what's going to happen? You know the answer. It's almost a trick question. The light is going to bounce. And it's going to bounce back down. So if I actually took a picture and this light lit up, the light would go up, bounce on the ceiling, and come back down. Now, have you seen the way God designed the face? My eyes are inset a little bit. They're not flush. Like my lips are flush. If I go like this, okay, my lips are flush. If I do that with my eyes, I never touch my eyes unless I put pressure. I could do it with my eyes open, but I'm not, because your face is naturally protective. But this creates a little cave in here, okay? So if light goes up and comes back down, this is set back. There's going to be a shadow in the cave. They call that raccoon eyes. So, to fix it, they're right there to help me again. Imagine that. They thought of everything, okay? They put this little pull-up goofachi that I could pull up. Now, this one is old enough. What flash is this? Okay. Where it doesn't have the white piece, but normally they'll have one piece that, what do you call it, diffuses it. Do I have another flash handy? Yes, I do, by golly. All right, so let's take this one off and put another one that doesn't belong on here. Okay, so I will loosen that and pull it off and put it back here. I don't know why this one's sitting there. All right, now I'm going to grab another brand. Okay, so this is the Nikon brand. Let's see if this one's going to make a liar out of me too. Yes, it is. We'll get there. This brand is Canon. All three of them don't have the little white piece. So normally you have a white piece that comes out, okay? And it will try and send a little bit of light forward. But it's not any bigger than this little pull-up piece. So, not that powerful. But it works, okay? So if I were to put this here, let's loosen it up because I don't want to get it stuck. All right, so if I slide this flash into the hot shoe, now more and more people are buying the flash units that go into the hot shoes. Now this is a Canon flash that I'm trying to shove into a Sony camera. Okay, so now I've got this upward firing flash. You can see it right there, right? I could pull up this and not pull it all the way out and get a little bit of forward light, but not much. Okay, now the lens is here and the light is here. What happens if I go like this? The lens is here. There's no light up here. What the hell is it doing over here? Stupid. Okay? So people have designed things to help you with that. One of these people is Peter Gregg. Peter Gregg is completely unprepared, but I will force the issue. I thought I was. How can a man that sells these things not have one handy? Who the hell's in charge around here? All right, so now that I made myself look like a fool, okay, this is what I sell. Okay, hi there. Welcome to the Peter Gregg Show, and this is your handy dandy flash modifier. So I sell these. I invented these in the early 2000s, okay, and I've designed them so they have different sizes. This one is the normal size. There's a small and a large. And I don't have the small here because I usually use the small. So I've just got these laying here. And I've got another one which I might explain or I might not explain. Okay? But what this does is it changes the entire character, kind of like the mini HDMI to the full-size HDMI. It changes everything. Okay? So if you take this, it becomes a much bigger version of this little thing that pops out of the flash. So now you've got this little piece. Let's move this out of the way. Move me out of the way. Okay. So that you got that little piece versus this size. Okay. So now you're actually taking command. You're taking hold of the light. You got it by the balls, so to speak. Okay. So you're not going to use that thing. Now, some people will want to take this and mount this like this. So this way the light will flash from the camera and bounce off of here. Boom! Go forward. Okay? But I designed this, and it's not how I designed it to work. All right? So with a lot of testing and lab readings to see the strength of the light, these things not only pop up and down. Can you see me flip this up and down? Are you blind? Look over here. This is where I'm working. Okay. I can flip this up and down. Okay. But I can also flip it sideways. Straight, sideways. Okay. So why is that? I'll show you. If I turn it sideways, and I don't put this on the wide way behind it, but I turn the entire flash sideways. Now I take this little sucker. It's called a Better Bounce Card Flash Modifier. It's at petergregg.com. There's my commercial for those of you that, is he going to try to sell this to us? Yeah. Go over there, buy it. Okay. Now, when I put this on like this, okay, you've got your lens. Let's lower this down. And you've got your light. And the light is bouncing forward. Now, on this unit, it gives me the ability to control the zoom on the flash. Because Sony, Canon, Nikon, and everybody else knows you can zoom your lenses. So what they have done is that in their flash units, they have built it in so as you zoom, 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 okay, the flash head will also zoom. You'll hear it go zit, 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 zit. Okay? So if you want to control the lighting here, you disengage the zoom so it doesn't cooperate with your lens anymore. Now it's at your command. You have the power. The power's in your hands, baby. So when you zoom the flash, the beam gets narrower like this. It closes. All right? And when you zoom it wide, the beam of light gets wide. Now, when the beam of light gets wide, there's more light to hit the back. See, this is the back. and it goes, boom, we can't get through, so it bounces forward. And when it bounces forward, it actually will fill the little cavities of my eyes in here, so I don't get raccoon eyes, or the little shadow under my nose, or any other defect on my face, okay? Which we're not looking for defects, right? So if I zoom this a lot, I'm going to have less light kicking and going forward. If I zoom this a little, okay, I will have more wider dispersion. So all that means in small talk or simple talk is I can control how much light goes up, and I can control how much light goes forward just by running the zoom button back here on this unit. And after all those miracles are done, if I decide I want to take a portrait of you, because you're just darn good looking and handsome tonight, and I turn the camera like that, all I have to do is push this button and flip that up, and then suddenly my light is back, not on top, but it's a lot nearer to my lens, and it's just a little bit higher. So it actually works to your advantage. So you can go from portrait to landscape to portrait to landscape. You see how quick it happens? Okay. Now, because I am a photographer and because I use this thing, okay, many times or most of the time when I'm actually taking a picture and I'm using a flash unit, which more and more people are buying, there's people sitting around me. And those that make these translucent globes and things that sit up on top, okay, every time I take pictures, and I could take a lot, I could take 30, 40, 50 pictures. I'm flashing the pictures and the light in the eyes of everybody around me. I am not very well liked, but look at my unit. Solid black on the back. There's no reason for the light to go backwards when I'm taking pictures of people in front of me. Until the day comes when I learn how to take a picture of the person behind me, this black that I built into this only allows the light to fire at what I want lit up. And on that, I can't make an apology. I want something to get lit up. Okay? Now, in different environments, I would use different sizes because it will cause different amounts of light to get used. And I have small, large, and extra large. This is the large. The small is not around. This other one is a test unit which never made it to market. Okay. Now, you want to go a little deeper, or this is too much info for you? TMI, as they say. There's another level to all of this, okay? And that would be the deeper level. So unless I really get permission from you to do that, I'm not going to go into it, but this is the unit that you would use. And it should raise questions in your mind as to why would, if you're trying to bounce light, Peter, why would you put a black one on here? What's the point? And that would be the next level of the questions. Okay? But right now, I want to get more involved with you guys because you're the show. Okay? But I did stumble my way through this to be able to explain some of it to you. I'm loosening this up because I don't want to drop any equipment. Taking the flash unit off, putting it over here. And I want to put this cover back on my hot shoe, so this the camera is kind of like in brand spanking new condition. It comes with a little cover for the hot shoe. Now on the FX2, you have what they call a smart hot shoe, which means the camera can do more than use flashes. But that would be accessories that you can purchase. Okay, so that's where we went with the topics. And Lewis is saying hi to everybody. Love you, Peter. And he's saying hello there to everybody. And so is Sammy. I love you, Lewis. I love you, Sammy. Thank you for being here. I already read that. Sammy's asking how I am. Thank God I'm feeling much better. Do I look and sound better, or do I still look like a wacko? Evelyn is here. She's saying, hi, Peter. Hi, Evelyn. So glad you're feeling better, and that was a bad time for a while. Yeah, I stupidly pulled a muscle in my lower back, and it froze and caused spasms where the pain was on a level of 1 to 10. It was a 15. It actually crippled me and put me into bed. Bed. B-E-D, bed. It's not a big word. That's where I wound up. Okay. So I did come to you and ask you guys for prayers because it was serious. I couldn't even figure out how to get to the emergency room. That's how much the pain was. So thank you to everybody, for Evelyn and everybody that prayed for me. I love you guys and I appreciate it. So I realize this is not a big room. We don't have 1,000 people in here, but the people that we have in here are strong friends, and I appreciate you. So Sammy is saying, is it worth it to upgrade from the FX30 to the FX2? Only if you can handle it financially, because everything you have in the FX2, everything that you have in the FX30 is in the FX2, and you get more. And if that's worth it to you for a full-size sensor, for a movable EVF, which is, people have complained, damn, this thing is really nice. I will very often go like this, okay, or even like that, and people just like to run their mouths. Oh, we've got this thing and it moves and I don't like it. Well, go to the candy store. That's not what I was going to say. This thing is fantastic. Now, if you buy this and you don't like it, that's your own personal preference. But all these people that think this is an FX3, it's not. This is not an FX3. This is an A7 Mark IV and an FX30, which Sammy was just asking about, smashed together into one camera and then some. Not very much like it. This is the Goldilocks camera, okay? Only thing that gets close to that is the Nikon ZR. So Sammy, if you save up your pennies, that would definitely be the next step up for you. You get a bigger sensor in terms of megapixels. You get all the beloved things that you like. You get all the ability to build out your cage, because I know you're very much into making videos for Paramount and HBO, okay? That would be your next target. The ZR, the red from Nikon, would be very tempting. But you're so advanced now, Sammy, that I bet you could find LUTs to make this puppy do exactly what you want it to do. And there's not anything holding you back. There really isn't. So the use and the functionality of the camera. When these things start to come down in price, I would switch out my FX30 for the FX2. You've got your fan. You've got... It's a work of art. And it feels like a work of art. That's the surprising thing. And I have held the FX30. That is one solid camera. This is more solider. So it does its thing. So Alex is here. How you doing, Alex? I haven't talked to you in a while. I hope everything is well. I love you, buddy. Okay. Roy is still lamenting in his chats. Take a pill. You got to get over it, Roy. I know a good counselor, Roy, and he's actually pretty smart. And you could talk to him because, you know, if you're going to get all flustered about not getting your chat through, you know, basically, you know, Carlos will be glad to walk you through it. In the meantime, it's life. It's like getting pulled over, and you don't deserve to get pulled over by a cop, and he's having a bad day because he had an argument with his wife. So that's the way it is with the chat. There's no malice on my part whatsoever. Alex says, Thinking about getting a Z30 or FX30 from Sony. Wow. That's like getting, well, let's just put it this way. Between those two, you buy the FX30, okay? They're not in competition with each other. And there's so much more available to you by getting the FX30. So when Sammy is ready to move up to the FX2, I know where there'll be a used FX30 for sale. It was taken care of. It hasn't been dropped. He takes great care of his equipment. It stays in the case. Yeah, Alex, the FX30 is for you. Roy says different lenses for different uses. Here's my buddy Randy. Hi everybody, I do not have a problem with micro, macro, micro, mini. I use them when live streaming or for live studio work on a tripod and the camera is stationary. I do not use a cable. I do not use a cable to view on TV. Well, I was going to say good for you, Randy, but unfortunately, you're the very first one where it broke. Okay? So when you say you don't have a problem, yours broke on the very first day. So because I love these people, I would say if you can buy a camera without that, I would do that. Okay? Roy says, most of my chat is still going AWOL. Well, you better start paying attention to what you're writing, and you need to send me an email. I would like to know what's going AWOL so I can find out if it's something I can fix. Okay? But it's not a topic I really want to talk about here. I don't want to talk about the fact that some chats are not making it through. Everybody's chat is making it through. Okay? So you're writing funny words or words that are being triggered, and these words are not. When you're writing to me straight sentences, it comes straight through on my screen and I could see it. And I don't want the topic to become sentences that I can't write. This is not my show. That's not what it's about. Okay? But I don't want you to have that problem. So whatever sentences you're having a problem with, email them to me and I will look it up for you. But in the meantime, we're not going to talk about that because everybody else is going like la 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 la. Okay. So Norm says if you can find vintage full frame lenses, they work very well on crop sensor bodies. Slower lenses are great on newer bodies because it increases the ISO to compensate for smaller maximum apertures. Yes. What Norm is saying, and even a little more developed, is old lenses work great on these new cameras because the new cameras are so advanced that they actually solve some of the problems that the cameras had from maybe 2014, 2015, 2018, 2019, when the cameras were much more finicky. Well, now the cameras have a much wider algorithm and they fix the problems. Therefore, these vintage lenses suddenly have become more valuable. And Norm is 100% correct. Good for you, Norm. High five, buddy. So, Midnight Sports, how's it going, Peter? Any idea how to get vertical video when inviting a person to a stream? Without adjusting the camera, I use Video Ninja and OBS. Well, the vertical video is going to pop in there automatically. And when I say automatically, it's not the word that you're thinking. It's not automatic like, oh, it fixed it for you. It means it's vertical already. And you're going to see what you see. Now you can go forward and crop. Okay, so I have to shoot a question back to you and ask you, what's the problem? If a person comes on and they're using vertical, it's just going to show up vertical. It's their choice not to turn the phone like, where's my phone? Okay, so believe it or not, I'm not picking on you, Midnight. It's the person that's bothering you. This works like this. And it also works like that. If a person's not smart enough, they're going to go live on your show on OBS or something to do that, don't worry about it. And whatever it shows, it's, what do they call it? It's part of the effect of what happens when they're communicating with you. Now, if you want to fix it, you'd have to zoom it out so that the sides would leave. And that all depends on how close now the person's getting. So now if you zoom it out for all these side black bars to leave, and you only got the nose and the eyes, that's too much. So what they actually do, okay, is they take 2 shots of the same item. One shot is the real shot, which is cropped in a vertical. Vertical means up and down, guys. Okay. So this, what you're looking at, is not vertical. It's landscape. It's portrait. Okay. It's horizontal. It's this way, not this way. All right. So what they do to fix that is you do 2 shots of the same one. One, you zoom in tremendously and blur it out. And then you put the other one on top of it, because all the colors will be matching. The theme, the feeling, okay, the ambience, it'll be out of focus, but it won't be like introducing an orange with a teal, okay? It'll all be the same colors. One will be blurred on the sides, but the center would actually be in focus and what the person is intending for you to see. And that is the trick that you use. Okay. So Randy is talking to Roy. Robert is in the house. I like that the FX2 has an EVF. Yeah, not only it has an EVF, which is a plus, okay, but it has an EVF that moves, which some people have tried to turn into a minus. So it's stiff. I mean, it doesn't flop like your finger. You know how it flops? All right. It actually, I'm pushing pretty hard to get this to move up and back. Okay. So it's not going to flop down. I'm actually pushing against it and it's hardly moving. Now, I don't know in 5 years if this is going to become a floppy doppy. All right. And I don't know if there's a screw to tighten it because I don't see anywhere to tighten it. All right. But as of now, in new condition, if I put it to like a 45, it's going to stay. Okay. If I do it to a 90 where I want to look down like the old twin lens reflexes, it's going to stay. If I do it like a regular viewfinder, even if I bump it, okay, and my glasses are knocked off, it didn't move. It's still in place. So people have to make content for YouTube, and many times they make content by just bitching and moaning. And you got to work and wade your way through that kind of crap. Okay? So Robert, yes, that's one of the huge pluses on the FX2 is the fact that it does have an EVF. I consider it a huge plus that it has an EVF that makes the camera work up at eye level and down at waist level. And some people are willing to throw that away. And if it's here, I'm not throwing that away. I want it. I like that feature. But it's a good place to make a 20-minute video to complain and gripe and moan and get people to come and look at your YouTube channel. But it's not relevant at all. It's hogwash. Okay. Of course, that's my opinion. Guys got to remember, everybody's got an opinion. Some people have too. Okay. Okay, so we're going down. Going down. Sammy says they should make a Peter FX2. This is the Peter Great camera. You didn't know that? This is one of my favorite cameras in a long time. Boop, boop, boop. So Roy and Randy are having a conversation, and it's back to comments. Roy has a comment problem. We really need to get some pills for him. Special comment pills. I have it set for not being able to make comments faster than 7 seconds, and that might be annoying Roy, but a porn site would use a computer to blast. Boom, 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 boom. So if you're going to talk to me faster than 7 seconds, there's a problem. That's like 7 seconds. Okay? You just hold your underwear tighter for 7 seconds and then make your next comment. Ashley's in the house. Hi, Peter. Gonna try and call you tomorrow. I need some advice. Well, where's my advice for sale sign? Okay, try and reach me tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow's Saturday. So we got a couple of projects going on in the day. We're having a new air conditioner being installed in one of the rooms. And if the phone rings, I won't hear it. And then tomorrow night, it's my godson's birthday. And I think I'm going to try and go, because I'm going to get to go to a restaurant and feed my fat face. And at that time, when I'm sitting at the table, I won't. I'm not one of those guys. You ever go to dinner with somebody, or even lunch or breakfast, and as soon as you sit down, I'm over here. Talk to me. Did you say something? No. So Ashley, if I'm at dinner or the construction air conditioning is being put in, I'm telling you ahead of time so we don't get annoyed like Roy. Okay? Leave me a message and I can get back with you. Big boy Sammy knows and loves the cinema cameras. Yes, you do. Roy is doing a test 1, 2, 3. Camera loud and clear, Roy. All right, Roy, let me explain something to you real quick. When you're looking at the screen, over to the right is the comments. Okay, I don't see that. So when you're looking, let's say if I were to look and watch my show on the phone, and I could see my beautiful, handsome face, and on the right is the comments, and they keep scrolling as they're being made, I do not see that. What happens is Ecamm captures the comments, okay? You can't erase, it will not erase them, and then it will put it on a separate screen for me, and that's the screen I'm working off of. If that helps you in understanding the system, that is what actually goes on. So let's say somebody makes a comment and they say, frick you, you dirty, rotten, what is that thing from that movie? What is that movie? That Christmas movie. And he used it from the old movies. You dirty, rotten scoundrel. So you use the F word. Okay. Now that word, that comment, I'm not even sure if it'll appear on the right side of the screen. I don't know because I don't watch that often enough. Okay. But I know if I get like a porn thing, like look at my beautiful boobs. Now, I don't think I have boobs as a bad word. I don't know if YouTube itself lists it as a bad word. And if it shows up here, Ecamm won't erase it. So I won't know that one of the moderators, like who's the moderator? Randy, okay, or Sammy, okay. If they take the bad comment out, I will still read it and embarrass myself. Because the fact that the comment is taken out doesn't get communicated to the Ecamm window I have here. So, Roy, pay attention. Okay, let me show you my whole screen. Because you might find this interesting. And I lost it. Where is the demo mode? There it is. All right, so now everybody is looking at my underwear. This is my back room where nobody sees. So you get to see my the window in the center, which is what I get to watch. Underneath the big window with the big yellow guy, the big yellow shirt, is the control windows. As I move over to the right of the screen, there is the comments. Okay, so Ecamm will paste the comment there that are legitimate and made it past the scrutiny, and then loses the connection, meaning it cannot come back and remove it so that I don't make a mistake and read it. Okay? And that is the function of what happens. Now, once a comment passes, so let's say somebody says, F you, Peter, F you. You are just a lousy person. Now, chances are that F you word, meaning the bad word, will not make it to the comments that everybody could see on the side. Therefore, it won't get picked up by Ecamm. Now, there's a list of words. There's 11,000 words in that list. And the reason it's that large is it goes by languages too. So there's bad words in different languages that I'm not even aware of. But if those words appear, they won't make it to me. Okay? Now, the 7-second rule's got nothing to do with those words. That means if you say, hi, Peter, and then immediately, I love you, Peter, it's within 7 seconds, the I love you will not make it. I have that as a buffer for the shotgun approach that the bad people use to all of a sudden make 30 comments in a row about the big boobs and come and visit me here because I have a porn site. And the way I kind of buffer it a little bit, there's 2 ways to do it. And one is to make people actually sign up for my show, which I took that off because a lot of the people in Australia were having a problem to have to sign up, even though they were signed up. Okay, like Shane and who's the other gentleman from down there from Brisbane? And that was causing them a problem. So I no longer put that you have to be a member to actually write something. But to keep the shotgun really fast action comments from happening, I did force a 7-second slowdown. 7 seconds is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So I won't get that one after the other that happens. Now, if you're faster than a 7-second talker, we need to talk. All right. So now let me turn off the back room so you only see my handsome face. And that's how the comments get to me. That's what I wanted to show you guys. When you make a comment, it gets put on a list here and then it disconnects. And I can just keep going down the list. And it took me a while to realize that a comment that slips through probably has been removed by one of my moderators, like Randy. And I have to be smart enough to know not to say that. So Sammy says, maybe for my birthday, I will get the FX2, which is coming up on November 11th. Happy birthday to Sammy. I love you, my Sammy. My big boy Sammy. It's gonna get an FX2. So Robert says, okay, see how I can put it right here on the screen? So it took it off of the comments over on the side where you see them, and it pasted it onto this little window for me. And then once it's in that little window, I could slap it up there. Now I'm doing exactly what I told Roy I don't want. I do not want to be talking about comments. Okay? That's not the topic of the show. Email me. I'm available 7 days a week. So this is not where we're going to have a comment show. You want a whole show on comments? I can do that. Okay. So the C50 cinema camera, I use the Robert. Oh, they're timed also, by the way. I use an R5C, which works the same, and I love it. Yeah, the R5C. What's the other one that you got, Randy? I think it is the R5C. And he told me it still works The C50 works like that. So, yes. Once you get used to it, Robert, you're in like Flynn, right? And it's the same way with every camera. Once you get used to it, once you get settled in, that camera becomes your tool. It's like going to the bathroom all your life. You use your right hand, you tap, tap, tap. God forbid you have to go to the bathroom and use your left hand. Nothing works right, okay? It's the same way with cameras. I open this camera, I know where the on and off switch is. I know how to turn this open, my eyes are closed. I know how to flip this around. I know how to push the button to make it record. I try to do that with my left hand. I'm like a fish out of water, okay? So you do get used to the tools. You get used to your cameras. You get used to your lenses. You get used to your software where you edit your pictures and you zoom them in, you sharpen them, you change the colors, you crop them, you do everything you want to do. Same thing with videos. You get used to Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro, which is what I use, and it becomes a tool in your hands. And that's what Robert is saying. He's got the C50. Okay, it works just as good as his R5C. Okay. So, I lost my place. Where did I leave Robert? There he is. Hi, Robert. Love you, buddy. Randy, Peter, in the still mode while recording a video, try taking a photo to see if it works. All right, so I'm in the still mode. Turn the camera on. Go to still mode. Push the button. Taking a video. It focuses but doesn't shoot. So your answer is live on the air, you ain't getting the picture. Let me just go and make sure. Yeah, nope, it took no pictures. So it will not take a picture as it's recording in the still mode, and it won't do it in the movie mode. I guess the best person to ask is you, Randy. What camera will do that? Because there's maybe just a handful that will actually take a shot. While you're recording, you can actually take a still picture. Okay? So no, the FX2 will not do that. And now we all know, the world knows, from here to Timbuktu. Okay? Sammy says, do you recommend the XLR handle for the FX2? For me, I don't like those handles. But Sammy, for you, yeah, those handles are important because you build your cameras out to be in a cage and you do video and the handles become important. For me, smaller is better. Handle makes it bigger. I want smaller, 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 smaller. The opposite of a penis. You want bigger, bigger, bigger. Camera, you want smaller, smaller, smaller. All right, I like to make jokes in there. Sorry about that. Okay, so adding a handle is not for me, but that's not for everybody. For you, adding a handle is important. Okay, therefore the handle is important. Therefore they make the handle for you, Sammy. And yes, you need to get the handle when you buy it. Maybe not right at the beginning because of the pricing, but eventually. And here's a question. Will the handle that you got on your FX30, will it fit on the FX2? I don't know. That's a good question. Going to have to look that out. So Roy says crop lenses are only what they are, crop. Only decreases the field of view and nothing else. Now that's a mouthful because a lot of people don't know what Roy just said. The crop lenses changes the field of view. It does not change the f-stop. It does not change the focal length. It does not change the number of, what do they call those things that you got in there? The 8 or 9 or whatever's in there. Nothing changes on the lens. It's like taking a picture. Oh, I can't reach it, okay? If I take a 4x6 picture, where did I put, why can't, hold the phone. This is getting me ticked off. When I have everything here at my fingertips and I can't get it, I get annoyed now. Maybe it's just tonight. Maybe I didn't have my chocolate ice cream. Okay. Now, when I take this picture, okay, the picture has been taken. This picture is from 1989. Okay? It's a picture of me. And no, I'm not going to zoom in. You're just going to make fun of me. It's me and one of my nephews who I dearly, 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 dearly love, like my own kid. Okay? Whatever lens I use, this will never change. If I take the scissors, and I happen to have a scissors, imagine that. I'm doing a show and I happen to have something I need, which is a scissors. Okay? And I'm able to reach it. And I'm not going to ruin this picture. Okay? But if I take this and I cut this down to be the size of a crop sensor lens, what it would do to this picture, the original picture never changes. Same thing that Roy is telling you with the crop sensor lenses. These are wonderful pictures. This is my nephew. He's also my godson. And this is the birthday party we're going to tomorrow. He's almost 40. Okay. And we'll be going to his birthday party. But, you know, when you see this age, this is something that can't be repeated. When you wonder why you have a connection with some people that you just can't get with anyone else, it's because I've been holding him since the day he was born. Okay? We've done the jump, trust Uncle Peter, jump, jump, and he jumps and I catch him. Okay? That can't be repeated when the guy is 25 years old. At 25 years old, he'll flatten me if he jumps into my arms. Okay? But that knowledge and that trust that happened at, this was 1989, so he was maybe 3 or 4 years old. And I know we did the jump because I do weird things. Okay? So he was not allowed to jump on the bed. So when they would come here and his mother wasn't here, I'd put the music on, put him up on the bed, hold his hands because I'm not trying to break his skull. And I would let them jump and laugh their heads off like crazy. That's one of the benefits you get as a child. You have no clue, no care in the world. And it's an adult that makes sure they stay safe, obviously. And he remembers it to this day. He'll say, "Do you remember that song I used to jump on your bed?" I said, "Yes." "Did you ever tell your mother that you jumped on the bed?" "No." For some reason, I don't believe him. Okay. But that trust that they built up when at this age, they have nothing in their computer system that has mistrust for me. That transfers when they're older. And that's why you can put your hands on them, on their shoulder, and they don't jump and wonder who the hell is touching them, and somebody else can't. Because you have created a bridge into who they are as a person. And that cannot be repeated. I don't know how that can be repeated. Let's put it that way. Okay? Now, you could start to train somebody to do that. All right? And I have seen it happen in my life at my age, where people don't really trust you, but then when push comes to shove and they reach out for you really fast when they haven't had time to process it, you have started to make that connection in their heart towards you. Okay? Because most of the time, no offense to anybody here, so let's see, who can I pick on here that won't get offended? Sammy. Okay? So if something happens and I stub my toe, all right, I'm certainly not going to call all the names that are listed here. All right? But if I quickly call Sammy, I hurt my toe, that connection of trust is greater because I didn't process the fact that Sammy might make fun of me. Sammy might correct me. "Why weren't you watching where you were walking?" Or he might insult me. What the F is wrong with you? Who the heck walks around and stubs their toe? See, I didn't have the time to process all that. All that existed was the trust where I could, Sammy, I just stubbed my toe. And I know there's not going to be any kind of damage coming back at me. That is what gets built up with my godson towards me. That's what you have a really almost impossible time creating at the older age. Okay? You can do it because I'm working on it right now. And I see that starting to happen. Okay. My first success for the night. I needed something and it was there. The scissors. The pictures were over there. The flash unit was over there. My better bounce cards were all the way over there. It's like I am not organized here at all. What the heck? Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Do I recommend the XLR handle? For you, yes. And Roy said that the crop sensors, all they are is cropped. Everything else stays the same. And that is something a lot of people don't understand. Roy is one very, very, very smart man. Okay? All cameras should have full HDMI. It should be the law. Ethernet would be nice too. Should be the law. Can I take it one step further? I should be able to talk to the camera like this. Okay? Watch this. Just watch. Send a text to Sammy.
What do you want to say?
Hey, Sammy, I'm talking to you live, comma, this is just a test.
Send it?
Yes, send it.
Done.
Now, Sammy is getting a text. And if he's not still watching, he's wondering, what the hell am I doing? Now, $2,700. Let's try it. Open up my white balance menu. Open up my HDMI choices. That ain't right. And they say they're building cameras. They say they are doing all this with software. Yet I can't tell it to open up my white balance? How about this one? Turn off dynamic active image stabilization. Camera doesn't even budge. Why? Why can I send a text to Sammy just by talking to the phone? It is, look how tiny this is. Look. Okay? What the hell? Somebody did not turn their brain on when they're designing things. Why do I have to go through all this crap to find all these little things? Change from 24p to 30p. If it had the option, it would shoot me a bird. So yeah. They need to get somebody better than 5th graders to get in there and design cameras. That's the way I see it. Robert says the FX30 is great. The FX30 is the camera I would have bought if the FX2 did not come out, if I was in the market for a camera, which I am not. The A7c Mark II, I was very, very happy with. Roy says, I hate mini HDMI, ring, 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 win, 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 and micro SD cards. A little bit less of a ring, but I agree. I don't see the reason for their existence. Okay? Anywhere you could put a micro SD card, there's nothing that small where you have to be able to swallow the thing that a regular SD card wouldn't fit in. All right, so they're in existence, micro SD cards. I understand that. Okay? But somebody had to sit there and say, we got to make this card smaller. Come on. Well, why didn't they sit there and say, oh, let's be able to talk to the camera and open up the menu that the guy's looking for? Where were those brains? How about Tesla, where they're doing the self-driving? How about it being able to see a train that's ready to kill you and get you out of the way? Hello, Tesla? You see? You see how schooling in the United States is not as developed as it should be? He glue gunned. Oh, hot glue. The hot glue gun, the last mini HDMI device I had to use. You know, that might not be a bad idea. I'm going to have to look and see. Maybe a hot glue as a ring to reinforce it might be a really good idea, Roy. You earned your pay for the week. You earned your pay for the week, Roy. Peter, I love you. I love you too, Louis. Yes, I do. Roy says the new Nikon ZR, it has mini HDMI. That's why I'm not getting it. Well, a very wise man told me to hot glue it. Put a ring of hot glue around it, Roy, and you could buy the camera. Here's Shane. How you doing, buddy? Not all micro HDMI ports are created equal. There is a lot more dodgy quality ones out there, for sure. I have to agree with you because the Sony ones on the E10 makes me very uncomfortable. Now, which one doesn't make me uncomfortable? There's one, I think the, I don't know, but there was a couple of them that I even remember thinking to myself, Shane, boy, this seats pretty solidly. Like, why aren't they all like this? But that, it shouldn't be in there at all, okay? I'm looking at my baby boy. His birthday is tomorrow, and we're going to go out for dinner. Okay, so good word, Shane. Good word. Yeah, let's go. Good word, Shane. Good word. Okay, now that's Family Feud. Playing the wrong game here. Can you tell I'm hyper tonight and feeling better? Mini HDMI is fine. It's the micro HDMI is the problem. Is that the smaller one? The smaller baby one is the one I'm talking about. If I'm using the wrong words, I have been corrected by Robert. But it's the little tiny baby one. The one that's in the A7c Mark II. The wrong one. Okay? The one that's in the A7c Mark II. The wrong one. The one that's in the R6 Mark I is the middle-sized one. It doesn't feel so fragile. Okay? And I get confused which one is which. But you're right, Robert. You're right. When you're right, you're right. When you're hot, you're hot. But not all HDMI cables. Roy says, I like being teased. No, Roy, I wasn't getting offensive. I just didn't want this to grade into a pissing match over... my comments are not showing up when I am not even active in doing anything to stop anyone's comments. So it's like dragging me in to talk about dirty Q-tips when dirty Q-tips have nothing to do with this show. Now we do use Q-tips, but it's not something I want. So my apologies if I came across in a wrong way. Bob Denver had a sad end. Do I know Bob Denver? I know... who's that? Almost Heaven. West Virginia. Well, that's not Bob Denver, right? Somebody Denver. Well, the Denver that did the Almost Heaven, he died in a plane crash. Bob Denver? You know who my mind goes to when you say Bob Denver? Gilligan's Island. So, Robert says, we all have a sad end. Hey! Leave my butt out of this conversation. Oh, you weren't talking about my butt. Sorry. Yes. The Bible does say we are appointed once to die. Except for the last generation that goes up, and like my t-shirt says, if you look in the description in that box down below, whatever the hell they call it these days, my goal is the sky and not the grave. That means I'm looking for the rapture, baby. Roy says, my Sony A7 hot shoe was the first thing to die. When I was very active with wedding photographers, hot shoes used to go like running water. Roy says, my end is happy. See, good for you, Roy. I like that kind of thinking. That's funny. Is there a hot shoe extension cable for Sony cameras? Let's do this. Is there a hot shoe extension cable for Sony cameras?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
Sony announced a new ISO-based multi-interface hot shoe for use with their future digital cameras. It's not answering the question as usual. What you want to know is if there's a hot shoe extension or not. Yes or no. It's a yes or no question. So what's with this bullshit that goes in the middle? So Roy has a happy ending. We'll have to take a picture and post a picture of your happy end there, Roy. Is there a hot shoe extension? We already went through that. Does that flash have any extra tiny fill on the front? No, I only know of the Mets. The Mets is the only one that will have an extra little flash that flashes here. But when you use the Peter Gregg, a better bounce card, the whole better bounce card is shooting forward and shooting up at the same time. Imagine that. Buy the Peter Gregg bounce card, flash diffuser. And where is it at? It's at petergregg.com. Boy, I got that commercial in. Shane is saying for shoe, or for sure. Roy says, bounce flash of ceilings and walls is great too, but sometimes causes a color cast. I've gotten into full-blown arguments about that. Yes, they cause a color cast, and yes, the camera strips it right out. And I have done picture after picture showing and proving that with brown ceilings, red ceilings, black ceilings that shouldn't bounce at all. So that is something that either you've experienced or haven't tested. And that's the name of that tune. But I have tested it. Doesn't make a hill of beans. As a matter of fact, I took a course with a man that I no longer like, and I took my flash unit and my better bounce card on there. Okay? And we went into a Catholic church, and now we paid, I think, $1,400 for this course that he is teaching, and part of it was a field trip. And on that field trip, he took us to a Catholic church that had the Mother of God way up in the sky. So he made fun of me in front of the entire class, and he said, and you think your light is going to reach the top and affect your pictures when you take pictures here? And I said, I don't know. Why don't we find out? So I took a picture and I turned it around and showed it to the entire class. And this ceiling that must have been 75 feet in the air bounced back. And it was the wood things that get together. Okay? The guy shut his mouth. Okay? Now he had other problems, and that's not why I don't like him. Okay? He just wound up being not a good human being. But that's being very judgmental. We're not supposed to be judgmental, so I apologize, and I'm going to say I'm sorry. So, Randy, where are you? I sold that bad HDMI port E10 today. Oh, talk about being right on the mark. How did I wind up doing that, Randy? The guy that bought it did not care about that. Micro HDMI cable was plugged into the camera for 3 days. When it failed, third day. Okay. It's the only camera that failed. So you sold it today. I need to buy a lotto ticket. What's the chances that I would mention a camera that broke on you 2 years ago, on the day that you sold it. Seriously? Seriously? Now here's my buddy, my friend, my pal, bringing up my competition right here in my own chat room. What a great friend. I love you so much, Roy. He makes the Gary Fong type flash diffusers. Yes, those are the ones that they are not blocked in the back. They actually go all the way around, so when you shoot them, it lights up and blinds everybody around me, including the people directly behind me. Mine doesn't do that. Hint, hint, buy mine. Okay? But I knew why I was making this. I made this. Excuse me. I made this to use it. I didn't make this to sell it. Okay? I shoot weddings. I'm retired now. And I needed 3 of these. I needed something small so it doesn't attract attention when you go in the bride's bedroom or the area where she's putting the makeup on, and you're going to bring all this gear out in her face and say, smile, okay? You want to capture the real moments that happen in the weddings. So this is the full-size one. There's one that's half this size. That's the baby. And then there's what I call the extra large. They're all designed to send the light into 2 directions, not change the color of the light, okay, and not bleed through the back. And the third thing is something that Roy just brought up, okay, breaking hot shoes. When you put those Tupperware things on top of your flash units and you hit them, crack, your hot shoe breaks on the camera or on the flash, and you have to break it. Well, look what happens when I hit this. Boom! Bend. Boom! Bend. Ain't gonna break your freaking hot shoe. It's not even gonna hurt anybody. I designed it for me to use. You could buy it or don't. I use them, okay? Because they work, and they work well. And they've gotten fancier, not these, but they've gotten fancier and fancier to make people feel like they're buying the newest technology in the world. The point is, don't break my damn hot shoe. Make it bend back and forth. And when you wrap it around, it gets its position again. Okay? It's almost like I knew what I wanted. Wasn't designed by a 5th grader. Gregory stopped by to say hello, and he is saying hello. Hi, Gregory. Love you. Sending a big hello back to you. Roy says, love the old lenses, but some are too noisy. Roy says, I like to use a field monitor, especially for videos. Roy says he's been fixed. Can't have kids, huh? Did it hurt? Peter, you're so nasty tonight. What's wrong with you? I feel better. My back doesn't hurt. Peter, I love you. I love you too, Louis. Buy an FX2, Louis. Go ahead. No. Get rid of the Canon and buy your FX2, Louis. What? But I want a Canon. No, Louis. I want you to buy an FX2. But Peter, no. You told me to buy an E10. No, Louis. I want you to buy an FX2. But Peter, you're making me upset. You told me to buy this. I'm telling you now. I changed my mind. Buy an FX2. Poor Louis. Roy says 7 seconds is very treasonable. You want me to lower it to 5 seconds? Would that be helpful? 5 seconds? See, I'm not thinking of you. I'm thinking about the lousy computer that's going to try to rat-tat-tat and put this crap in my show. Telling people you're going out for dinner is great for burglars. Oh, not in this house. This house is never empty. Okay? We run in shifts in this house. So if I'm not home, somebody else is home. Most of the time I'm home. And yeah, I got protection. The Lord is my protection. Okay. So, I'm going for dinner, but I'm not telling you when. And I'm not telling you when I'm coming back. Lewis, Peter, what's your favorite focal lens for portraits? 85 millimeter. But I can make do with 50. And I would love 100. Randy's got a 100 millimeter lens. It's the creme de la creme for portraits. Portraits are awesome because you get a close-up of people's faces. People love their faces. Oh, dear Lord Jesus. People love their faces. I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally leave this in reverb mode the whole night because that would get me upset. It would ruin the whole show for me. I know the system, but oldies like me are used to putting 3 dots at the end of communications. That's what the problem was. Roy, you know what the problem is? The problem is you're right, and companies like Tesla have created a whole new world of cars. Now hear me out, 30 seconds. Stick your finger up your, not you, Roy, but those that are not listening, okay? They make these cars. Now, my eyes are closed. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. How do I open the window? I take my right hand, I put it down here, and there's a button to open the windows. Bzzz, bzzz. It's been there for 100 years. I drive up in the rain, and Randy's standing there on the curb, and I need to open the door. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Unlock the door so that Randy can get in the car. How do I unlock the car so that Randy can get in the car in the pouring rain? I put my hand, I put it down over here, and I move forward a little bit. Oh, there's a button. I move it to the left, clock. I move it to the right, clock. They all go up. Tesla took and got rid of all that. Where's the speed? Right there in front of me on every car. Since I've been 5 years old, even before I drove. The speed is right there. I'm doing 23 miles per hour. Tesla decided to move it. What the freaky big shot. Okay. I need a word, a good word to replace the bad word. Okay. Front door. What the front door? Okay. Okay, so they did that. So I'm going to give them credit for creating something new. Okay? I give them credit. But, why don't you make a car for me too? Why don't you make a model that's different from your high and fancy schmancy, everything is on a screen. You got no buttons over here to open windows, close doors, lock windows, let Randy in. He's standing in the rain. The poor man's getting saturated. Why don't you make a car for me? Cadillac does. Cadillac makes it. All the buttons are in the same place. My speed limits and my turn signals are right there in front of me. Okay? Cadillac makes it. I'd rather buy a Cadillac. Electric car. Why don't they make a model for the old way of doing things? And make a model for you young guys that you love the new technology and God bless you. You can have it and you can use it. And I don't even want to think of taking it away from you. So why am I hepped up on this? Because I'm getting older and Tesla is the only car on the planet, the only car on the planet where I could sit in the car and tell it to take me to Home Depot and it will. And I watch. But over here on this screen that I was just complaining about, it's showing the bicycle guy over there. It's showing the dog over there. It's showing there's somebody in my blind spot over there. And that computer is computing all that and driving me to Home Depot much safer than I can ever take myself to Home Depot. Because as I get older, and things happen, they start to overwhelm me. My eyesight might start to come in a little bit. What do they call that? Perfect vision or purple vision or something about my vision out here. Well, the car doesn't have that problem. The car can see all the way around and it puts all those things on that screen. And I don't even have to watch the screen. The computer in the car is watching it for me. And it's avoiding the guy on the bicycle and the dog walking its owner. Okay? And it'll wait for the green light to come and the red light to stop. And it'll see a speed bump. It will drive better and safer than I do. I find that valuable. And if another car, even if it was gasoline, had that, that's the car I want to evolve towards. Because there's a lot of people that are entering or handicapped, and they need some assistance. But this guy named Elon Musk put it in this car that's so freaking advanced. Randy's still standing in the rain. Randy is getting saturated. His hair is dripping with water because Peter can't open the frickin' front door. Or that door. The answer is very simple. Is it hard to figure out? Make two models. The current Tesla and the Model X for luxury. Make it as nice or better than the Cadillac. Put the thing in the middle. Put so that I got my buttons over here. Make it so I can get Randy out of the rain. The poor guy's going to hate me. Well, that's my rant. No, they only got the one model, and you can only do it their way. You want to go and drive, you have to go to this big screen and find the D and slide your finger up. What happened to boom? I'm in drive. Now, I wouldn't have all these complaints if another car had the full self-driving, even though you do have to pay attention. But I really would like it to be able to help me to drive safer. I don't want to hurt anybody at my age. I don't want to get into an accident at my age. And that car is offering something that no other car will do. There's a video out there you could look up. 88-year-old drives the church in Tesla. This man bought a car for his mother because he didn't want his mother to get killed because she will not stop going to church. Fine. I'll buy her a Tesla. And he did. And she's sitting there going like, ooh, I don't want to go on the highway. The highway scares me. And the car goes right up on the highway. And she's going like, ooh, look how it's doing. Ooh, it just went right. It merged. Oh, my God, is it going to get off at the right? And she's questioning the car every step along the way. And the car, not one misstep from her house to the church. It parked the car. She got out, went to her church. Everybody said, so glad to see you today. And then she drove home. And the man knew his mother was somewhat safe. A lot safer than her driving. She would have had everything in the way on the way to church. So that's why that technology has become important. Whether you like the Musk guy or not, that technology is going to open doors. And we're not even gotten into the taxi part of it where you don't even have to drive yourself. The car will come and drive you. Now, I'm not sure I'm willing to trust the car to drive me with no steering wheel in the car. I'd just rather, it's the word I was trying to get, I would just rather sit behind the steering wheel and see it turn this way and see it turn that way and be able to intervene if I need to. That is something that would make me happy. And now where it's dark outside, when there's a lot of spots of light from headlights that blind me a little bit, and I don't see somebody on a bicycle crossing, I like the fact that the car will see them, that the car will actually act on behalf of not hitting that bicycle rider or the guy pushing his homeless cart, because it takes me a while to see these things now at night. And the younger people can have their new technology and enjoy it. The people like Sammy that's 20 years old, he's going to be 21. This is going to be old hat for him. This is new for me. They need to make a car with a different model that puts the amenities in there that's been in the cars for the last 100 years. All right, guys. 12. The show was supposed to be over at 11. Well? All right, guys. There's a lot of comments. Should I go through them? real fast, 3 dots, slow mode, cameras become obsolete. Roy, you're a wealth of knowledge. Roy is talking to Lewis. Randy says the R5 II, the Z8, the A7 Mark IV, and there should be a setting in the FX2 camera to enable it. Good news. I mean, taking a picture while you're videoing. Roy is talking to Lewis. Roy said, I never got offended. That's good because I love you. Roy actually stepped up to help me financially at one point too. So my intention is not to harm him in any way. But I just don't want this to become a show on comments. Okay. Roy says mini SD cards are good for tiddlywinks. I don't even know if they're big enough for that. Roy says self-drive needs LiDAR, not just cameras. I used to think the same thing, Roy. I changed my mind. I'm not going to degrade, I'm not going to go down that rabbit trail, but the cameras actually will read the signs, okay, that has where and what is coming up where the LiDAR will not. So the camera can see the sign, interpret it much like text to speech, and interpret what that sign says. So if it says right lane to get off at I-25, LiDAR will not know to take the car into the right lane. But the camera will read that, will interpret it, and move the camera into it, which is what made me move away from LiDAR. Before that, I thought LiDAR could see better, okay? But now Tesla moved away from cameras, and now I understand why. The cameras can also interpret the lines on the road, okay? So an earlier version of the Tesla, not the current one, that has the self-driving, the guy was driving up, and have you ever driven up and they're doing construction and you have to go into the other people's lanes and go for a little while and then go back into your lane? Okay. Well, the car went into the other people's lanes, but when they tried to put you back into your own lane because the construction ended, the car was not able to read the sign. The Tesla was not able to read the sign and continued going up the wrong side of the road. LiDAR will do that, okay? Now, the cameras that can actually read and interpret, it's up to the Tesla engineers to start putting all these signs and what they're saying so that the car can understand it. And that is what moved me out of LiDAR. Because I like LiDAR even for focusing for a camera. I think is a great system for the focus systems. So I'm very hip and hot with LiDAR, okay? And Roy, yes, he loves to help people with their problems. He has a big heart. John Denver, I couldn't figure out who I was trying to say. Thank you. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing in the breeze. Country roads take me home to the place. Bye. Thanks, Randy. All right, Randy, you can come in out of the rain. I figured out how to open the door. It was one of these buttons. I probably hit it by accident. Peter, you need your $1,400 back. Yeah, I'll take it back. Where did it go? Lewis, give me my $1,400 back. 7 seconds is fine. Okay, I'll leave it there then. I wouldn't have changed it now, but if you want me to next week, I can make it 5 seconds or 6. Lewis says FX2 is what you recommend. I love you. Thank you. Yep, Lewis. So I thought about you when I got the camera, and I said, damn, this is a great camera for Lewis. Not that you're going to buy it, slowpoke. 50mm to 85 for portraits. Lewis says, I'm not the greatest at 85mm compositions. Do you have any advice? 50mm. 50mm is my favorite all-around favorite lens, 50 millimeter, 50 or something very close to 50. And it could be on a crop sensor, a 35 that comes in close to 50. Roy says the crash the car, battery disconnect, and the doors won't open. I think Roy is souring on electric cars, but that's okay. I'm going for the Tesla, Roy. I want the driving assist. I want to drive longer. I don't want to be side where I can't drive. So if what I have to... Now, they do have the batteries that catch on fire, which is not good marketing. Okay. Randy says when you buy your Tesla, just open the sunroof and I will dive in from the rain. All right. Good for you, Randy. He solved the problem for me. Where was I going? Oh, lithium-ion batteries, the battery that's in here. Okay. This is a lithium-ion battery. Without proper management is the big key here. Without proper management is the big front door key. Close the front door, okay? But when it has proper management, you don't get fires, okay? But they have a new technology out, and it's called, instead of lithium ion, it's called sodium ion. They don't burn. And they cost 70% less to make them. Now, here's the test. Let's see how long it takes to get those in the cars. Let's see how long it takes to get those sodium-ion batteries into the cameras. Let's see how long it takes for Peter to stick the battery back in the camera. Okay, sodium-ion batteries. They are in production. CADL makes them, cattle. Like CAD for David, D for dummy. CADL is a big company like Panasonic, and they are making sodium-ion batteries. So this is not pie-in-the-sky technology like aluminum-ion batteries. Everybody's talking on YouTube. YouTube is terrible. Everybody's talking how aluminum-ion batteries is the savior for all batteries. Nobody makes them. They don't know how. They're still inventing them. But the sodium-ion batteries are 30% cheaper, hold more charge, and don't burn. Don't burn. So you can start putting that on your advertisements. Batteries that don't burn. Okay? Now, as far as car fires go, if you ask Google right now, in 2024, what's the most car fires that happened? The least amount of car fires happened with EVs. Okay? At about 1,400 to 1,500 car fires per 100,000 sold. EVs. This is on Google. This is not my own intelligence. Okay? Gasoline-powered batteries or gasoline-powered automobiles were not at 1,400. They were at 3,500 gasoline-powered cars will catch fire for every 100,000 sold. $1,400 versus 3,500. EV, fully electric, versus gasoline. And what burns more than anything else? Like 13,000 for every 100,000 sold cars? Hybrids. Buy a hybrid. Park it in your garage. I'm buying an EV and parking it in my garage, and I'm going to sleep fine. But if they start putting those sodium-ion batteries, and they start putting that little label on there, this does not catch on fire. It's all marketing. Because people have it in their head that electric cars catch on fire. Doesn't matter what you do. You got to change that from happening and say, our cars don't catch on fire. Not from the battery. Maybe because you're smoking. I don't think I was going to stop the show. Not the way I'm going. And I got a big bowl of ice cream waiting for me in there. So Randy solved my Tesla problem. Open the top, he'll jump in. Roy solved my comment problem. 7 seconds is fine. Lewis solved my 50 millimeter problem, my favorite. And Randy, he's not even trying to push me off. Peter's doing great tonight. 2-hour live stream. Keep the comments coming. We may see sunrise. Oh, you guys are funny. I do love you guys. You want me to make a confession? I was in a bad place about 2 hours ago. You know, when you feel like you're getting in a box and the box is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and your balloon is filling up with air. I needed a way to empty out the air. I even called Carlos, and he didn't answer the phone. So I wound up calling my cousin, and we got off onto another topic completely. What did we start talking about? Oh, and making ice cream. So I found a way to make ice cream where I will enjoy it, and it won't make me not taste good. So that's the way it is. Wait, Roy is telling me to crash my car. Lewis is telling me the 85 millimeter. Crash the car and open the batteries. Randy says open the sunroof and he can jump in. Poor guy standing out there in the rain. I feel so bad, Randy. I made you stand out in the rain so long tonight. Roy says Waymoo. Waymoo? I wouldn't get in a car with Waymoo if you paid me. Waymoo is a self-driving car. You can't buy it, and it's not sold. They make it for themselves, and they strap all these weird contraptions on all 4 corners. The car looks like a clunky robot going down the street, and it doesn't have a great track record. And it will go by the wayside by itself, whether I say wonderful things about it or say lousy things about it, because it's just going down the wrong road for technology. That's not the technology. Like this is going down the correct road. They put everything they needed to put in here. They gave it a new shape, a new design. They kept it small. It does a good job, and it does everything except let you talk to it. Okay? That is the right road. Okay? So Teslas see a large truck across the road as a bridge and try to drive under it. I don't believe that. I'm assuming you're joking, because I have watched hundreds of videos, because I'm very, very interested. And I have watched hundreds of videos watching the Teslas drive. And what I really want to see that I haven't seen yet is, have you guys ever seen these videos, crazy car crashes? And you're driving along and all of a sudden this car just jumps, bounces off the center rail, goes across, bounces off the concrete thing on the right, knocks out 2 cars and a truck. I would like to see how the Tesla would handle that. I haven't seen that video, okay? But I hope I never get in that kind of an accident either, okay? But it's usually some guy coming out of nowhere, lose control, make a mess. And I have noticed that most of them are not filmed in the United States. So there's a lot of people in third world countries that don't know how to drive semis and trucks and stuff like that, that they are a hazard. And they drive them like they were a bicycle. So Randy says, good night, everybody. Have a sale. Oh, have a sale. Have a safe next week. Have a safe week. And Lewis is saying good night. I'm getting kicked off my own show. Getting kicked off. Roy, getting kicked off my own show. Self-drive needs cameras, LiDAR, and radar. I talk to my cameras all the time. Now are they talking back? That becomes the interesting thing. Roy is talking to his cameras all the time. All right, I made it to the end, guys. Philip, what the hell? I'm 2 hours and a half past due, and now you come in to say hello. Were you taking a nap? EVs do not have good range like gas cars. Doesn't bother me one bill. Doesn't bother me one bit. Now, if I was going to do a lot of cross-country traveling, okay, I don't think I would leave the Tesla supercharger environment. So now I'm stuck with Tesla again. So even though I like the Cadillac, if you guys haven't looked at the Cadillacs, they make a really nice car. Okay. Look at a Cadillac called an Optique. Optique. Optiq. Optique. It's the same size as a Tesla. And it rides smoother than a Tesla. It's got a sunshade that'll close when you push a button. It's got all the window buttons over here. It's got the lock and unlock buttons over here on the left where they belong. It's got the mirror adjustments over on the top where it belongs. It's got the radio with a knob right there where it belongs. It's got a screen that you could control all kinds of things where the Tesla is. It also has a miles per hour. It's got a thing when you turn left, you push it down, tick tock, a signaler. Okay. It's like you're driving a car. The Optique, that's the car I would want to buy. Okay. Because it's very simple. It's a car. It's the Chrysler that I used to know. It's the Ford Crown Victoria that I used to know. It's the Chevy Caprice Classic that I used to know. Randy is stuck out in the rain. And Tesla can fix it by making the Model Y the best-selling car in the world. They make it in 4 configurations instead of 1. They need to make it in the one that the people love so much. It sells more cars than any other car in the world. Okay? That says something. Make the same car in a vintage model. The Tesla Model Y with a little V. Vintage. Buttons, radio, TikToks, drive stalks, shades that close my sunroof. The Model Y V. Wow. What brain thought that up? Well, they haven't. Then make the Model Y E, an economy version. Take out the electric motors that go up in the back and put cloth seats in it, okay? And get rid of the glass roof and put a solid roof. Put a smaller battery so you run around, get like 150, 200-mile range that you could charge at your house. So you start fresh every morning with a full battery and charge $25,000. So you got the Model E for economy. You got the Model Y, which they have now. You got the Model Y Performance, which they have now, but it's the same exact car. They need to make a Model Y pickup truck. Cut the back half off and put a normal pickup truck back there. 4 models out of 1 out of the best-selling car in the world. Not in America, in the world. That would be somebody that's looking towards making that company develop instead of hopping around in the White House and playing with whatever he's playing with between his legs. Okay? Take the simple car. You don't have to change the motors. You don't have to do nothing. Just make 4 cars out of it. You could quadruple your sales. Some guys like to drive around a pickup truck. That's just the way they are. Some guys don't want to spend $50,000. They'll bet $25,000. I'll look at it. Strip out everything. Put cloth seats in there. I don't need those leather seats or wannabe leather seats. I don't need the electric back up, back down. I don't need the electric seats in the back going down and back up. Nice. Fancy. $50,000. Take all that out. Make it simple and plain. What did Roy put here a second ago? I miss simple cars. Simple cars cost less. Make it $25,000. Hitler did it. He made the Volkswagen. The people wagon. And then the regular Tesla that everybody loves. Can't take that away from everybody. You'd shoot me. So, have I finished my show? Am I free to go home and go eat my ice cream, or you guys want to chat some more? So EVs do not have good range like gas cars. That's true. However, with specifically a Tesla, it's like a flight engineer. You put in your trip and it will plot your course as to where you have to stop to charge and for how long. You don't stop and charge a full charge 45 minutes every time. You might only have to charge 7 minutes to get you far enough down the road for the next charger where you might have to charge 11 minutes. And they plot that out. It's all done automatically. So there's a million videos, not really a million, hundreds of videos, okay, on people making cross-country trips with their Model Y Tesla. Okay? And it's that 40,000 Tesla superchargers that are all over the United States that make it possible. Now, you get into a Hyundai Iconic or whatever they call those things. Until recently, they didn't use the Tesla superchargers. You had to find these little chargers in the back, in the dark of a gas station where the guy decided to put in an EV charger where it's not safe. You can get robbed or raped. No. The Tesla superchargers, they're lit up. They're usually next to a Walmart, a Home Depot, or someplace you could sit down and have a meal, and you can go cross country. Now, if they put that sodium-ion battery in there, they need to get up to about the 600-700 mile range, which is what a gas tank, not even that much, 500 to 600 miles. Because now in the smaller cars, they only put 13, 15 gallons of gas in those things. Okay? They're not that far away. They're at 320. And that would take care of Philip's problem. Roy says his 26-year-old SUV still does everything. See? And everything is where it belongs. The more tech and the more goes wrong. I am free to go. Let Randy get in. Well, he's so wet now, I don't think it matters. You know I'm teasing him, right? He's not staying in the rain in case anybody comes in late. Where's Mark? Mark usually comes in at the end of a show. Peter took too long. I'm sleeping in the rain. I am the one on the bench with a newspaper over his head. Roy says as long as your cameras are drying. All right, guys. Show's over. Thank you for being here. Watch Lewis tomorrow, Sly Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday. Watch Carlos all week long as he puts up videos. I love you. My goal is the sky, not the grave. I hope I make it. I want to make it to the rapture. And God willing, and the bridge isn't up, I will see you next Friday. I love you. I'm sorry for being so rambunctious tonight. I was feeling better, and I was just a little over bubbly. So sorry about that, but thank you for staying here with me. Love you. Good night. Bye-bye.